More learnings from Naren. I've done one video on saying is investing in art or science, but that reminds me of what Naren said in his talk on the TIA platform, which has gone viral, and I've seen it at least once. So he says identifying where you are in the cycle is an art. I would go one step behind and say identifying whether it is a bubble or a cycle is an art, right? So you don't know. I mean, in that I gave the examples of Tata Power and BHEL. So you buy, if I bought Tata Power at 30 rupees, do I say, wow, it's a 6-bagger, sell it off 180, or say it's a 9-bagger at 270 and sell it off, or I say, no, it can become a 100-bagger, from 30 it can go to 3000, and do I wait? So how long do I wait? Fund managers can't do that, but you as an individual can definitely do that. Will you, if suppose you bought 50,000 shares, will the full 50,000 last with you till you reach 3,000? That's again an art, right? So it's very difficult to know which is an art, which is a science, where art has to take over from science, right? So knowing how much is the, so what Naren says is knowing how much is the institutional ownership in the sector, valuation of the sector compared to the past, and sentiment of the IPO market in that sector. Unfortunately, finding out sector-wise IPO is very difficult. I know one broker who does this research. Suppose his research analyst has come out with buying XYZ share, I'm not naming it. Then he goes and does a quick analysis of finding how many of his clients or investors have already bought it way back. Suppose his research assistant identified this share at 60 rupees and he says it's a great buy, it will become a 10-bagger from here. Then he goes, he's got enough software to go back and check which client bought the share at a price less than 60. While he was doing one such office work, he found one client who had bought this at 11 or 12 rupees and he was still holding. And there he started tracking that investor, and that investor turned out to be an engineer working in a research organization. And it was not very impressive, but his stock picking skills were amazing, right? And he was not his employee or anything, so but he co-opted him, and you would speak to him and say, sir, what do you think, what is happening in the market? He had no clue about what is happening in the market, in the sense that on macros he had no clue, but on micro, on each individual share he had a fantastic view, right? Naren also says use extremes to your benefit. This is very difficult because at one extreme it would happen that the market cap of say Sun Pharma is more than the market cap of the whole IT industry or something like that. The market cap of TCS would be more than the whole pharma industry. Some of these signals are a great trigger for you to buy and sell, but I would suggest a portfolio rather than a single share. You could be right about pharma and wrong about Sun Pharma, then what happens? So better always to get into a pure pharma fund and hope that you got your sector call right. But there used to be a fund, there is a fund which says they will choose the sector, the fund manager will choose the sector. Wait, I am not recommending it to you. Taxation has made that fund very unattractive, so I wouldn't put fresh money into it, but I had some money into it where the fund manager could take a view on which sector to buy, but it becomes an FOF kind of a thing and taxation is not very good for it. So I'm not recommending, I'm saying there used to be such a fund, there is such a fund, but today I don't think it will have great traction because people are afraid of the taxation, the way that fund is going to be taxed. So yes, use extremes to your benefit. He says money can be made in structural investing. I really don't know how I can make money in structural investing. I'll just skip that. Part-time investors have a lot going for them. I completely agree, because if you are a part-time investor and you have a full-time chartered accountant or doctor or anything else, then you are better off because you concentrate on that and incidentally you make money in the market. I met brilliant chartered accountants who make great investor. I mean, Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, Vallabh Bhansali are examples for you to see. I've met doctors, this particular doctor who's an orthopedic surgeon, his wife is a gynecologist, is a brilliant investor. I'm not giving you his physical location. I don't want you to start chasing him. He's a brilliant investor. I had a look at his portfolio when I was there doing some training for doctors, and he had done a fantastic job. So somebody there could be doing a great job and could be doing a better job than somebody who is a paid professional, right? So all these things can happen. He says value investing is at its core the marriage of a contrarian streak and a calculator. Completely agree. You have to have the willingness and the ability to sit through and prove you're right with a calculator to your trustees. Obviously, it is far more difficult for a fund manager to be a contrarian than for an individual investor who says, okay, my upside is I may not make any return, but I am not answerable to anybody. So again, so this is very difficult because sometimes you're unable to justify on numbers. For example, how would you justify any price for Indigo till it makes money? But it has got market share, right? So Maruti has market share. So at 5,000 it was a good buy, at 15,000 it may be a good sell. So at what stage do you allow your signs to take over, and somewhere you say your gut is I think Indigo is a good buy at 2,400 or 2,700, because when it comes down 20%, lot of people will come in and buy. Therefore it is a cycle and not a bubble, right? So if a share falls 90% and still you don't think it is worth buying, then that is a bubble. This is very clearly a cycle. I was in an art festival where there were a lot of things that you could buy, and I had free coupons, but I still went through the art exhibition 3 times, 4 times. I just couldn't decide what to buy, because of course there was honey available, there were notebooks available which were eco-friendly, but I just couldn't get myself to buy anything because I didn't know whether I'm going to use it, right? So ultimately you have to know whether you're going to use a product, how you're going to buy the share and keep it, right? Is Indigo a good buy at 2,400? Yes, if the price goes up to 2,800 or 3,000 and you want to sell it. But if you are willing to do a 10-year SIP in that every month you buy say 25,000 worth of Indigo, I'm sure that you will make money. But then today the numbers won't say that, right? So the science is not willing to push, willing to tell you that it is a good buy, and therefore your value investing art comes in and not science. Naren also says don't judge yourself in a bull market or in a bear market, judge yourself in a steady market. This is again very, very difficult to say, because as a fund manager you are judged on an hourly basis or a weekly basis. Now with the daily settlements, maybe it will be done on an hourly basis. Your NAV at 12 o'clock and NAV at 1 o'clock, people buy arbitrage. So with that kind of a thing, constant evaluation is necessary. So I think you should evaluate yourself every 15 days and know when to take corrective action, when not to take corrective action, and when to do nothing, when to do something, right? So knowing all that is again art or science. You have to define. Thank you.